Greetings, citizens of Luna, and welcome to your Crown-approved programming. My name is Sarah Schneidman, Royal Botanist to Her Majesty the Queen, and today I will be discussing an often overlooked aspect of our rich culture, native lunar flora. Now we all know of the plants in the lumber production sectors, the crops we grow to support ourselves, the plants in the palace menagerie, etc., etc. But all of these plants were brought from Earth. What I will be focusing on today is the plants that have been able to grow and thrive on Luna without any influence from Earth and life. As you all know, lunar society is built under biodomes, and each biodome is given a different purpose or industry. For example, regolith mining, technical services, and lumber and wood production. Upon colonizing Luna in 2550 Second Era, our brilliant ancestors built these compact, regolith-made structures under which lunar citizens have been able to live ever since. These biodomes provide us with gravity, oxygen, humidity, and artificial fluorescent sunlight to brighten our skies during the long 14-day night. There is no wind on Luna, and it only rains once per week in the lumber production sectors. These conditions, combined with our regolith soil and some other features unique to specific sectors, have given rise to some truly unique plants. Our plants, found nowhere else in the galaxy, remind us of Luna's excellence. The brilliance of our ancestors brought us beautiful, endemic flora that inspires national pride in us every day. Cypress's vine, or Cypress vinea, was the first plant to be found on Luna by first royal botanist Alaric Silas. It is named in honor of the first king of Luna, His Royal Highness Cypress Blackburn. Nowadays, Cypress's vine can be found throughout all regolith mining sectors. This woody vine has no branches, only small, hard leaves that grow off of the main stem. These leaves, as well as the leaves of every other native lunar plant, are orange. This is because the fluorescent light produced by our biodomes during the long night has a wavelength that is best absorbed by the beta-carotene pigment, which reflects orange light instead of the green of chlorophyll. Beta-carotene can also absorb UV light during the long day, Luna's 14-day exposure to the sun. In the regolith mining sectors, there is a lot of dust in the air. Cypress's vine makes sure to keep its few stomata closed except for the 1 day per week when humidity is created so that it is not clogged with dust. This behavior also keeps the limited moisture that the plant gets from the air from evaporating. Something very interesting about this plant is that it disperses its spores and sperm by exploding its sporangia and antheridia. These explosions send the reproductive units flying and allow the plant to disperse their genetic material far and wide without the help of wind. As you can see, Cypress's vine has some truly remarkable adaptations that allow it to thrive on Luna. Upon the discovery of Cypress's vine, King Cypress enlisted a team of botanists under the instruction of Alaric Silas to search for other lunar plants. The narrow pine, or Larsus spinosus, was the first plant to be discovered on this excursion in a research and development biodome by Royal Botanist Assistant Ren Lars. Despite its common name, the narrow pine is not a member of the earthen Pinus family. It is called a pine due to its highly ramified, small, needle-bearing branches. The branches are about only 6 inches long, so as not to form a wide canopy and compete with offspring. The tree grows to about 2 meters tall. The narrow pine's particularly interesting feature is that it only has 1 ovule and 1 antheridia. After the ovule is fertilized, it falls to the ground without the help of wind or even explosive dispersal like Cypress's vine. Because it just falls to the ground, the space around it would eventually get too crowded and competitive if there were too many reproductive units on this tree. Thank the stars, Luna has some smart plants. The sun fern, or Solazylon amichissimum, dominates the waste disposal sectors. It is weedy, opportunistic, and very difficult to get rid of, although waste disposal sector workers have tried. This plant grows most densely in places where humans are going to and fro. This is because sun ferns rely on humans for their reproduction. This plant was the first gametophyte dominant plant discovered on Luna. Sticky, burr-like gametes are borne on the ends of its leaves. Humans walking past a sunfern will find the gametes stuck to their clothes before they are deposited somewhere else. Because humans came to Luna before plants, it is interesting to see that some of their adaptations revolve around humans, unlike most earthen plants, which evolved their reproductive traits before human life. The air and soil of the waste disposal sectors is often polluted with toxic compounds. To adapt to this, some ferns are able to uptake toxins in their roots alongside water molecules and diffuse them between cells and in organelles. The pinnules are also very tough, not only because of the lack of moisture, but also because they store toxins from the air in their epidermis and cuticle. The bear cycad, or Spicis asexualis, was the second to last plant to be discovered on King Cyprus's botanical expedition. It was found in a technical services biodome and now lives across many of them. Although not related to the earthen cycad, it is called as such commonly due to its stumpy form. And it is called bear because of its complete asexuality. It produces only via stem offshoots from its trunk that fall to the ground and take root as a new plant. Each plant only produces one stem offshoot, and they take about 5 years to root and grow to full size due to the lack of moisture, so reproduction is quite rare. However, this rarity is positive, because the lack of wind makes it so that a plant's offspring will take root right next to them. Frequent reproduction would make for far too much competition between the organisms. The rain fern, or Flixia unum spora, is named as such for its location in the lumber production sectors. Here, it heavily rains once per week to help with the commercial growth of earthen trees for lumber. This plant forms the understory, creating a fascinating coincidence between earthen and lunar plant life. The rain fern has a 3-inch flimsy stem that bears 3 compound pinnatifid leaves that are each 2 feet long. The leaves, although much less tough than any other lunar plant, are still slightly tougher than an earthen fern's. This is because, although they live in rainy conditions, they still must sequester heavy metals from the regolith soil in their cuticles, which makes them slightly stiff. Thank you for watching, citizens of Luna. That wraps up the 5 plants that were found on King Cyprus's first botanical expedition. To learn more, please visit the Royal Botanist's net feed. You can find it at saschnei0.wixsite.com/Flora of Luna. Now, for those of you out there who live in some of the biomes that were mentioned, for example, regolith miners returning home after a long day of work, or waste disposal workers moving parts during the workday, perhaps now when you see the plants that are around you, you will be infused with a spark of pride for your country and remember the amazing innovations that your ancestors made so that our country could be teeming with such beautiful and diverse life. Thank you, and long live the Queen.